Hello everyone, and welcome to today's lesson on trigonometry. In this lesson, we're going to explore the sides of a right triangle and learn how to label them based on a given angle. By the end, you'll be ready to tackle some practice problems and start applying these concepts in trigonometry. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the hypotenuse, the opposite side, and the adjacent side in a right triangle, all based on a given angle. Let's get started with understanding each of these sides in detail. Here we have a triangle on the screen. Take a moment to look at it closely. Based on what you see, what kind of triangle is this? If you said this is a right triangle, you're absolutely correct. A right triangle has one angle that is exactly 90 degrees. It is shown by the little square in the triangle. This type of triangle is special in trigonometry. In trigonometry, we often focus on one of the two angles that are not 90 degrees, and we call it the reference angle. Here we've labeled this angle as the Greek letter theta. This is a common way to name an angle, though it could be called other names and represented with English letters as well. Now let's talk about the opposite side. Based on the reference angle, theta, the opposite side is the side that is directly across from that angle. If you change the reference angle, the opposite side will also change because it depends entirely on that angle. The adjacent side is the side that is next to the reference angle, theta, but it's not the hypotenuse. Adjacent simply means next to, so this side shares a boundary with the reference angle. The hypotenuse is the longest side in a right triangle. It's always opposite the 90-degree angle. No matter which angle we choose as our reference angle, the hypotenuse will never change. It's always directly across from that 90-degree angle. Now let's look at some example problems that you'll be working on through Delta Math. This question asks, which segment is opposite to angle J? Since we're looking for the opposite side, angle J is our reference angle. Now recall that the opposite side is directly across from the reference angle. If you visualize an arrow pointing directly across from angle J, you'll see that the opposite segment or side to angle J is DA. So that is our answer. On the next question, it's asking us which segment is the hypotenuse. By segment, we're talking about the sides of the triangle. Recall that the hypotenuse can be found across from the 90-degree angle, which is marked by the small square. If you visualize an arrow pointing directly across from that square, you'll see that the hypotenuse, or the longest side of this triangle, is AQ. So that is our answer. Finally, the question asks which segment is adjacent to angle O. Remember, adjacent means right next to, so it has to be a side directly beside our reference angle. O, it's also not the hypotenuse. So the side right next to angle O that isn't the hypotenuse is OR. That is our answer. Finally, let's see what you've learned. Try answering the following questions on your own. Which segment is the hypotenuse? Which segment is adjacent to angle G? Which segment is opposite to angle X?